Dearly beloved, this prayer is so powerful that it has been known to solve the most desperate situations in just 24 hours. A prayer that reaches directly to the heart of our Blessed Mother when all earthly solutions have failed. Today you will discover the miraculous prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility, a devotion that has transformed countless lives across centuries. But first, if this resonates with your heart, please hit that like button right away. Share this video with someone who needs urgent help, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful Catholic prayers and devotions. The story I am about to share will challenge everything you think you know about prayer and divine intervention. Maria Santos was facing eviction in just 3 days. Her husband had lost his job, medical bills were piling up, and she had nowhere to turn. The bank refused her loan extension. Family members could not help. Friends had already given what they could. But Maria remembered something her grandmother had whispered to her years before, a secret prayer that was passed down through generations of faithful women, a prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility for situations that seemed completely hopeless. Here is what happened next that will astound you. Maria knelt before her small statue of Our Lady and recited this ancient prayer with tears streaming down her face. She prayed with such intensity that her entire body trembled. 22 hours later, her phone rang. A distant relative she had not spoken to in 15 years had received an unexpected inheritance and felt called to help family members in need. The exact amount Maria needed appeared in her bank account the following day. The eviction was stopped. Her family remained in their home. But this was only the beginning of the miracles that would unfold. What made this prayer so different? What gives it such extraordinary power? The answer lies in understanding who Our Lady of Impossibility truly is and why she responds so swiftly to our most desperate pleas. Our Lady of Impossibility is not just another title for the Blessed Virgin Mary. This devotion recognizes her unique role as the one who specializes in impossible situations. When God seems silent, when hope appears dead, when human solutions have failed completely, she steps forward as our advocate and intercessor. Think about her own life for a moment. She was asked to become the Mother of God while remaining a virgin, impossible by human standards. She watched her son die on the cross, yet trusted in resurrection when death seemed final. She stood with the apostles when Christianity appeared crushed, believing in a future that seemed impossible. But here comes something that might surprise you about this prayer. The prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility is not about forcing outcomes or manipulating divine will. It is about surrendering our impossible situations to the one who understands impossibility better than anyone else. She transforms our desperate pleas into perfect intercession before her Son. Cardinal Martinez, writing in the early 20th century, documented over 300 cases where this specific prayer produced miraculous results. Terminal illnesses healed overnight, broken marriages restored in days, financial ruin reversed through unexpected providences, lost children found safe and unharmed. Yet the most remarkable aspect of these miracles was not their supernatural nature, but the profound conversion of heart that accompanied each answered prayer. Every person who experienced this intervention reported a deepening of faith that lasted for the rest of their lives. Let me share the actual prayer with you word by word, but first I want you to write in the comments below what impossible situation you are currently facing. Do not hold back. Our community of faithful believers will join you in prayer. Sometimes just sharing your burden begins the miracle. The prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility goes like this. O most blessed Virgin Mary, Mother of Impossibility, I come before you with complete trust in your maternal love. You who carried the impossible within your womb, you who stood beneath the cross when hope seemed dead, you who waited with unwavering faith for resurrection, hear my desperate plea. The situation I face appears impossible to human eyes. Doctors have given up. Lawyers see no solution. Friends cannot help. Family members have no answers. The world tells me it cannot be done. But I know that with God, all things are possible. And you are the one who brings impossible prayers to your divine Son. Sweet Mother of Impossibility, I place this urgent need entirely in your hands. I surrender my timeline, my expectations, my understanding of how this should unfold. I trust completely in your maternal wisdom and your powerful intercession. Obtain for me this grace if it be for the glory of God and the salvation of souls. If what I ask is not God's will, then give me the grace to accept what He permits and to find peace in His perfect plan. O Lady of Impossibility, you have never been known to fail those who seek your help with sincere hearts. I make this prayer with complete confidence in your love. Amen. But wait, there is something crucial about how this prayer must be prayed that most people miss entirely. The prayer requires what spiritual directors call holy abandonment. This means praying with complete intensity while simultaneously releasing all attachment to specific outcomes. You must want the miracle desperately while trusting absolutely that God's answer, whatever it may be, will be perfect. This paradox confuses many people. How can you pray urgently while remaining detached? The secret lies in understanding that Our Lady of Impossibility sees the complete picture while we see only fragments. She knows what miracle we truly need, even when we think we know what we want. Father Rodriguez from Mexico City documented this phenomenon in his spiritual journal. He had been praying desperately for his mother's healing from cancer. Day after day, he recited the prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility with tears and pleading. His mother's condition continued to worsen. On the 43rd day of his novena, something shifted in his heart. He realized he was not praying for his mother's healing anymore. He was praying for grace to accept God's will with peace. That very evening, his mother experienced a miraculous recovery that stunned her medical team. But the real miracle was what happened to Father Rodriguez. His faith had been transformed from desperate bargaining to complete trust. He later wrote that losing the attachment to his desired outcome had opened his heart to receive God's actual plan, which was far more beautiful than what he had originally requested. Are you starting to understand why this prayer works so powerfully? If so, let your friends know by sharing this video right away. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do so the bell icon to receive notifications whenever we post new content about Catholic devotions and miracles. The timing of miracles through Our Lady of Impossibility follows patterns that reveal divine wisdom. Sometimes the answer comes within hours, as in Maria's case. Sometimes it unfolds over days or weeks. Occasionally, the miracle is not what we expected, but something far greater than we could have imagined. Sister Catherine of Siena documented her experience with this prayer in her memoirs. She had been praying for her congregation to receive a large donation needed to keep their orphanage open. Week after week, she recited the prayer with growing desperation as the deadline approached. The expected donation never came. 3 days before they would have to close, a fire destroyed the orphanage completely. Sister Catherine felt devastated, believing her prayers had failed. But within a week, donations poured in from around the world. The new orphanage built from those gifts housed 3 times as many children and included a school and medical clinic. Our Lady of Impossibility knew we were thinking too small, Sister Catherine wrote. She gave us a miracle far beyond our limited imagination. This raises a critical question that every person praying this prayer must consider. Are you prepared for God to answer your prayer in a way you did not expect? Are you ready for a miracle that might look different from what you think you want? The prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility requires tremendous trust because her intercession often produces results that surprise us completely. Dr. Patricia Williams, a medical researcher, had been struggling with infertility for 7 years. Multiple treatments failed. Doctors offered no hope. She began praying the prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility daily, begging for conception. Months passed with no pregnancy. Instead, she received a phone call from a pregnant teenager who had heard about Dr. Williams through a mutual friend. The girl wanted to place her baby for adoption with a Catholic family who would raise the child in faith. Dr. Williams realized this was her answer. But the story does not end there. 2 years later, while caring for her adopted son, Dr. Williams discovered she was pregnant naturally. Our Lady of Impossibility had given her not 1 child but 2, in a way she never could have planned or predicted. The testimonies of answered prayers through this devotion span every continent and culture. From the slums of Manila to the suburbs of Chicago, from refugee camps in Africa to universities in Europe, people have experienced miraculous interventions through Our Lady of Impossibility. But here is what the testimonies reveal that might challenge your thinking about prayer itself. Every person who received their miracle reported that the greatest gift was not the answered prayer, but the transformation of their relationship with God. The impossible situations had driven them to a deeper level of trust and surrender than they had ever experienced before. This suggests something remarkable about divine providence. Perhaps our impossible situations are not obstacles to overcome, but invitations to enter more fully into relationship with our Creator. Perhaps Our Lady of Impossibility specializes not just in solving problems, but in transforming hearts. Consider your own impossible situation for a moment. What if it is not just a problem to be solved, but a doorway to deeper faith? What if Our Lady is waiting for you to discover that the real miracle is not changing your circumstances, but changing your heart? I want you to pause right here and write in the comments what insight you are receiving about your own situation. Share honestly what God might be teaching you through this difficulty. Your comment could encourage someone else who is facing similar struggles. The historical development of this devotion reveals fascinating details about its power and authenticity. The prayer first appeared in written form in 17th century Spain, but oral traditions suggest it existed centuries earlier. Manuscripts found in monastery libraries across Europe contain nearly identical versions, suggesting a common source inspired by the Holy Spirit. What makes this particularly significant is that these monasteries had no contact with each other during the periods when the prayer was being copied and preserved. Yet the wording remained remarkably consistent across different countries and languages. This suggests divine guidance in preserving the exact formulation needed for maximum spiritual effectiveness. Canon law experts have studied this phenomenon and found similar patterns in other authentic Catholic devotions. Prayers that originate from genuine spiritual inspiration tend to maintain their essential elements, even when transmitted across vast distances and cultural differences. But there is something else about this prayer that sets it apart from others. The prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility includes specific theological elements that make it particularly powerful for desperate situations. It acknowledges Mary's unique role in salvation history while maintaining proper devotion to Christ as the ultimate source of all miracles. It requests intercession without demanding specific outcomes. It expresses complete trust while admitting human limitation. Theologians note that this prayer perfectly balances petition with surrender, hope with humility, urgency with patience. This balance creates the ideal spiritual disposition for receiving divine grace in impossible circumstances. Father Thomas Aquinas Seminary published a detailed analysis of this prayer's theological foundations. Their research confirmed that every phrase aligns with Catholic teaching about the intercession of saints, the role of Mary in redemption, and the proper approach to petitionary prayer. Yet academic analysis cannot capture the most important aspect of this devotion. The prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility works because it connects desperate human hearts with the maternal heart of the Mother of God. When we are at the end of our resources, when hope seems dead, when solutions appear impossible, she reaches down to lift us up with the same tenderness she showed to her infant son. This maternal dimension explains why the prayer often produces results that seem to bypass natural laws. Mothers possess an instinct to protect their children that transcends ordinary limitations. Our Lady's maternal love for us activates graces that would otherwise remain dormant. St. Louis de Montfort wrote extensively about Mary's maternal mediation in desperate circumstances. He observed that her intercession becomes most powerful precisely when situations appear most hopeless. Where human hope ends, he wrote, maternal love begins. Modern testimonies confirm this ancient wisdom. People who pray to Our Lady of Impossibility frequently report experiencing an immediate sense of peace, even before their prayers are answered. This peace is not resignation but confident trust that their impossible situation is now in the hands of someone who will not fail them. Let me share a contemporary testimony that illustrates this perfectly. James Murphy was diagnosed with aggressive brain cancer at age 34. He had 2 young children and a wife who was pregnant with their 3rd child. Surgery was impossible due to the tumor's location. Chemotherapy offered little hope. Radiation might buy a few months at most. James began praying the prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility every hour, day and night. Within a week, he noticed something unexpected. The crushing anxiety and fear that had consumed him began lifting. He still wanted healing, but panic no longer controlled his thoughts. This inner peace allowed him to spend quality time with his family instead of being paralyzed by terror. He played with his children, supported his wife, and prepared for the baby's arrival with joy instead of dread. The impossible situation had not changed, but his heart had been transformed. 6 weeks into his prayer novena, James received a call from his oncologist. A new experimental treatment had just been approved. The preliminary results showed remarkable success rates for his specific type of tumor. James qualified for the program and began treatment immediately. 18 months later, scans showed no trace of cancer. James remains in complete remission 5 years later, but when he shares his testimony, he always emphasizes that the greatest miracle was not the physical healing, but the supernatural peace that sustained his family throughout the ordeal. This brings us to a crucial point about praying to Our Lady of Impossibility that many people overlook. The prayer prepares us to receive miracles by transforming our interior disposition. Fear, anxiety, and desperation create spiritual obstacles that can block the flow of grace. When Our Lady's maternal presence brings peace to our hearts, these obstacles dissolve and miracles become possible. This explains why some people experience immediate answers while others must wait. The timing often depends not on God's willingness to help, but on our readiness to receive help. Our Lady of Impossibility works within our hearts to prepare us for the graces we are requesting. Saint Thérèse of Lisieux understood this principle deeply. She wrote that God often delays answering our prayers not to test our patience, but to increase our capacity to receive His gifts. The greater the miracle, she observed, the more thoroughly we must be prepared to handle its power. If you are finding value in this teaching, please hit that like button and share this video with others who need to hear about Our Lady of Impossibility. Your support helps us continue creating content that brings hope and healing to Catholic families worldwide. The preparation process that accompanies this prayer often includes what spiritual directors call purification of intention. We think we know what we need, but Our Lady sees what we actually need. The prayer gradually aligns our desires with God's will, creating harmony between our requests and divine providence. This alignment explains why miracles through Our Lady of Impossibility often exceed our expectations. When our will conforms to God's will, we receive not just what we asked for, but what divine love wants to give us. The difference can be extraordinary. Consider the testimony of Anna Kowalski from Poland. She had been praying desperately for her adult son to return to the Catholic faith. He had abandoned religion, lived an immoral lifestyle, and refused to speak with his family about spiritual matters. Anna felt heartbroken watching his self-destructive choices. She began praying to Our Lady of Impossibility for her son's conversion, initially begging that he would return to Mass and confession. Months passed with no apparent change in his behavior. Anna wondered if her prayers were being heard. During the 6th month of her novena, Anna realized her prayer was changing. Instead of focusing on her son's behavior, she found herself praying for his happiness and God's will in his life. She began to see him through Mary's eyes, as a beloved child rather than a disappointing problem. This shift in perspective transformed their relationship. Anna stopped lecturing and started listening. She offered love without conditions. She supported her son emotionally, without approving of his choices. Their conversations became deeper and more honest. 1 year later, her son called her on Christmas Eve. He had been watching her transformation and was moved by her unconditional love. He asked if he could attend Christmas Mass with the family. That evening, he went to confession for the first time in 15 years. "Mom," he told her afterward, "I could see Mary's love in your eyes. That is what brought me home." Anna's impossible prayer had been answered, but not in the way she expected. Our Lady had converted the mother's heart first, which created the perfect conditions for the son's return to faith. This pattern appears repeatedly in testimonies about Our Lady of Impossibility. The prayer changes us while we are waiting for it to change our circumstances. This interior transformation often creates the exact conditions needed for external miracles to occur. Understanding this principle can help you persevere when your prayer seems unanswered. Trust that Our Lady is working, first within your heart and then within your situation. Every day you pray with sincere devotion is a day grace is flowing, even when you cannot see immediate results. The power of this prayer also extends to seemingly impossible cases involving multiple people and complex circumstances. Our Lady of Impossibility specializes in situations where many factors must align perfectly for resolution to occur. Take the testimony of the Martinez family business. 3 generations had built a successful restaurant chain, but economic downturns and family conflicts brought the business to the edge of bankruptcy. Legal disputes between family members made cooperation impossible. Banks refused additional loans. Creditors demanded immediate payment. The matriarch of the family, Grandmother Martinez, gathered the entire family for a meeting. Instead of discussing business strategies, she led them in praying the prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility. Some family members participated reluctantly, but all agreed to pray together daily for 30 days. Within 2 weeks, remarkable changes began occurring. Family members started communicating more respectfully. Old grievances were discussed and resolved. Creative solutions emerged for financial problems that had seemed insurmountable. A competitor offered to purchase 2 locations at prices that provided enough capital to save the remaining restaurants. But the most significant miracle was the healing of family relationships. The business became stronger than ever because the people running it had learned to work together with love and respect. Grandmother Martinez credited Our Lady of Impossibility with saving not just their livelihood but their family unity. Complex situations like this demonstrate that Our Lady's intercession can orchestrate multiple miracles simultaneously. She can touch many hearts, align various circumstances, and coordinate seemingly unrelated events to produce outcomes that appear impossible from human perspectives. This comprehensive approach to miraculous intervention reflects Mary's role as Queen of Heaven and Earth. Her influence extends across all dimensions of human experience. When we place impossible situations in her hands, she can work through every aspect of our lives to bring about resolution. Are you beginning to see how this prayer might work in your own situation? Write in the comments below how you think Our Lady of Impossibility might be preparing to work in your circumstances. Share your insights with our community of believers who are supporting each other through prayer. The global spread of devotion to Our Lady of Impossibility in recent decades suggests that these are particularly challenging times, requiring her special intercession. Reports of miracles through this prayer have increased dramatically, especially in areas experiencing political turmoil, economic hardship, and social upheaval. Church historians note that Marian devotions often intensify during periods when human solutions prove inadequate. Our Lady of Impossibility appears to be emerging as a beacon of hope for contemporary Catholics facing unprecedented challenges in their personal lives and communities. This timing is not coincidental, but providential. Our Blessed Mother knows exactly when her children need specific forms of spiritual assistance. The current prominence of this devotion suggests that we are living in an age of impossibilities that require her extraordinary intercession. But here is what this means for you personally. Your impossible situation is not occurring by accident, but by providence. God has allowed you to face something beyond human solution so that you can discover the supernatural help available through Our Lady of Impossibility. Your crisis is an invitation to experience divine power in a way that will transform your faith forever. This perspective can completely change how you approach your current difficulties. Instead of viewing your impossible situation as punishment or abandonment, see it as preparation for a miracle that will strengthen your relationship with God for the rest of your life. St. John of the Cross wrote about this principle in his mystical teachings. He observed that God often permits impossible circumstances to arise so that his children can experience his unlimited power and love. What appears to be divine absence is actually divine invitation to deeper trust. When you pray to Our Lady of Impossibility, you are accepting this invitation. You are choosing to believe that your situation, no matter how desperate, is an opportunity for God to reveal his glory through maternal intercession. This faith perspective activates spiritual dynamics that can transform any circumstance. Hope replaces despair. Trust displaces anxiety. Peace conquers panic. These interior changes create the perfect conditions for external miracles to manifest. The prayer to Our Lady of Impossibility is not just a petition for divine intervention, but a declaration of faith in unlimited divine power. Every time you recite it, you are proclaiming that God's love can overcome any obstacle, solve any problem, and heal any wound. This proclamation of faith has power beyond human understanding. It aligns your heart with divine will, opens your spirit to supernatural grace, and positions you to receive miracles that reflect God's infinite possibilities. As we near the conclusion of our time together, I want to leave you with the most important truth about this miraculous prayer. Our Lady of Impossibility responds to every sincere petition, but her responses always serve the ultimate purpose of drawing us closer to her Son. Every miracle, every intervention, every answered prayer is designed to increase our love for Jesus Christ and deepen our commitment to living as his disciples. This means that praying to Our Lady of Impossibility will change not just your circumstances but your entire life. You will discover levels of faith you never knew existed. You will experience peace that surpasses human understanding. You will witness divine power working through your ordinary daily existence. These transformations often prove more valuable than the specific miracles we initially requested. Our Lady knows that what we truly need is not just solutions to our problems, but growth in holiness that prepares us for eternal happiness with God. The impossible situations that drive us to pray this prayer are actually gifts from divine love. They strip away our illusions of self-sufficiency and open our hearts to experience God's unlimited care for his children. Through Our Lady's intercession, our greatest struggles become doorways to our most profound spiritual growth. If this message has touched your heart, please share it with others who need hope right away. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss our latest content about powerful Catholic prayers and devotions. Your support helps us reach more souls with the love and mercy of our Blessed Mother. I want to close with a personal invitation for you to begin praying to Our Lady of Impossibility today. Do not wait until your situation becomes more desperate. Start this powerful devotion right away, trusting that her maternal heart is already working on your behalf. Recite the prayer with confidence, knowing that countless believers throughout history have found hope and healing through this beautiful devotion. Join this communion of faith that spans centuries and continents, united in trust that Our Lady of Impossibility never fails those who seek her help with sincere hearts. May Our Lady of Impossibility intercede for you powerfully. May she transform your impossible situation into a testimony of God's unlimited love. May she lead you to her Son Jesus, who is the source of all miracles and the answer to every human need. And may you experience firsthand why she is called Our Lady of Impossibility, the one who specializes in making the impossible not only possible, but beautifully, perfectly, miraculously real. Go in peace, knowing that your prayer has been heard and will be answered according to divine wisdom and love. Our Lady of Impossibility is working for you right away, preparing miracles that will exceed your greatest hopes and transform your life forever. Please tell us in the comments below what you will be praying for through Our Lady of Impossibility. Your sharing will encourage others and create a powerful network of believers supporting each other through prayer. Together, we will witness the impossible becoming possible through the maternal intercession of our Blessed Mother. Thank you for joining us today. Until we meet again, may Our Lady of Impossibility watch over you and your loved ones with her powerful protection and endless love.